Supernatural Season 15, Episode 8, Oh Father Who Aren't in Heaven. This, of course, was the mid-season finale for the final season of Supernatural, and it was a pretty good mid-season finale. They did some pretty cool stuff. We had more than one returning character, which I was not expecting. I don't know if any of you guys had that prediction, but I didn't think Rowena was going to show up. Even when they actually went to hell, I didn't even think about it. I was just like, it's the same as when they go to heaven. Even if you go to that location, we're not going to instantly see John or anything like that. We're not going to instantly see any of the numerous characters that I hope are in heaven, because with this season, who the F knows, Chuck might have just been like, and just straight to hell. But, I never expect them to see certain characters even when they go somewhere. So they go to hell, and Rowena apparently is the queen of hell, which makes perfect sense. And I was so happy with that. Like, I knew Adam was going to show up. That's even in the promo, which I was surprised that they kind of just revealed that in the promo. But Rowena showing up, I was like, that's a pretty cool shock. I just didn't expect that. So I'm going to talk about that first. And then, of course, the Adam/Michael thing is like the meat of the episode anyway, so I'll save that for last. But Rowena being the queen of hell, that was pretty cool. It was just a great moment, a hilarious moment when she came in to save them, because from the beginning of that fight to the end, they were getting destroyed. And they even referenced it, which I loved, because I'm like, they're losing. I don't know how this is, like, how are they going to get a one-up on this? Because it seemed like they went in, like, no matter what happened, those women would either kick them across the hallway, or they would just counter something and then, like, judo flip them to the other side. It was like, you got flipped this way, you get up, you try to fight back, and then they flip you back the other way, or they just straight chest kick you and knock you straight to the ground. And Dean just gets up and is like, are any of us winning? Is anything working? Or are we just getting our asses beat? And they were the whole time, beginning to end. So it was super funny, because I was like, how is this going to end? But for now, it's hilarious, because they're just losing, just straight. It was just like nothing we'd seen before. It wasn't like, oh, they're fighting some demons, a little up here, a little down here. It was like, nope, loss, 100%. They were just being dominated. And so then Rowena comes in, it's like, all right, relax. And it's like, Rowena, she's not alive, but Rowena's here. So that was really cool. So I was very happy with that, because I thought, that was the last time we would see Rowena. So even though she's dead, and even as she puts it, of course she's in hell, we still get to see her. So that was great. I love that moment. And, she sends Sam to get some more alcohol, and so she knows something's going on between Dean and Cass, which, of course, they haven't made up. And I thought they were going to do it in that moment, but that's not really what happens. They, of course, deny, like, nothing's going on. And so she's like, all right, I've done some pretty epic stuff, but I have my few regrets. And so she mentions her couple of regrets, and then it's like, I have those regrets, and now I'm here. I'm dead, and that's all there is to it. So it was kind of her way of just saying, say what you have to say before it's too late. Say I love you, before you can't say it anymore. It's that sort of thing. And I thought it was cool. I was like, all right, that's kind of just pushing them towards what I figured would happen. They're going to eventually have that reconciliation between, Dean and Cass, and they'll kind of talk about, that big moment where, Cass left. And Dean was the one to really, push him out. So I was like, all right, that's a cool, simple little moment. It was just like, fix it. It's Rowena being Rowena. It's like, fix the problem, because you might not have forever, especially in this show. So I thought that was a cool little moment. And then, of course, the meat of the episode is like, look, we have to find Michael. Where is he? And so, of course, they can't. He wasn't in hell. It was like, no one can find out where he is. No one knows what's going on. It's like, all right, maybe we can figure something out. Let's get Donnie. So they get Donatello, and he's like, all right, I don't really know how to help you guys. Like, I can't find the dude. Like, I'm not really sensing anything. And then, of course, we start to actually see what Adam and Michael are really doing. So I like the concept that they actually share, because they've had 10 years, and it was just like, yeah, after a while, they only had each other. So Michael's like, sure, at times you can take over. Like, he's like, I know I don't need to eat, because obviously, Michael's inside of Adam's body, so technically he wouldn't age. And it's like, I don't need to eat, or any other stuff. But it's like, it just tastes good. And he's just like, knock yourself out, kid. So it's like, just enjoy, like, we're free. Just, take your time, eat some food, then we'll kind of figure out what we need to do. So as they're doing that, Lilith pops up and is like, hey, this is what's happening. God's back, brought me back. He wants you to come with me. And Michael's like, I don't trust you. I don't know anything about you, outside of the fact that I pretty much hate you. And that was about it. And so he just smites her. He just kills her right there at the diner. And I was like, oh, okay. Chuck might be mad about that. He might not, though, because Chuck is Chuck. Like, one day he'll be mad about it. The next day he won't. Like, in Chuck's chessboard, everything's a pawn and he's a king. Like, that's what it is. Like, everything he sees is just pawns all over the place, and he's the only king. And he's like a king has the abilities of a queen. So he probably won't give a crap about that. But I thought it was cool that Michael was just like, I still don't really trust you, and if God is truly here, then he can just come find me, and it's as simple as that. And he smites her, and then he wipes everybody's memory. Like, he was doing stuff in this episode where I was like, I don't remember they had these abilities, and it's also insane that he has, like, especially the end of the episode, he was in the magic handcuffs, so he can't do everything, but he was strong enough to, like, shake the bunker up, and then he's like, oh, you guys need to go to purgatory. Boom, there's the door. It's just open for 12 hours. I was like, how can he even do that in these handcuffs? It was like, it was just crazy. I was like, he's got so much power and things that he can actually do. It wasn't like he was struggling to use his powers, so that's why things shook. He actually had straight up powers. He was like, I'm just going to open this portal for you guys. Boop, I'm in these handcuffs. It doesn't really mean that much, but it means a little bit. And I was just like, huh, that's really interesting. But I love the dynamic of the character, and a lot of what they did I thought was really entertaining. Like, they go through a couple of different motions for what they expect, and then of course what actually happens. So in the beginning, they're like, all right, we need to find Michael. God left him in the cage for 10 years. Dean's like, if my dad did that, I'd be pretty pissed. And I was like, he's super optimistic, because exactly what I thought was going to happen is exactly what happened. I was like, I'm pretty sure Michael's going to be like, yeah, dad didn't come get me, but you and the ass butt guy, you put me in the cage. And that's exactly what happened. It was like, I still believe it's God and then everyone else. And that's exactly what it was. And I was just like, I don't know they were thinking from a real human perspective, because I'm like, I don't think he's gonna care. And they even reference it, like, when he doesn't say it to them, but when he and Adam are actually talking, it was like, I've known you for years, I've known God for an eternity. And I was like, that line specifically, I think was the perfect line to kind of represent Michael as a character. It's one thing to be like the teacher's pet. It's another thing to be the teacher's pet for an eternity. Like, it's a totally different perspective. It's not like, oh yeah, it was a year or two, and I really looked up to dad. It was like an eternity. He watched him create other stuff, and it was like, this is really cool. Like, it makes sense that he'd still have those thoughts, because he was always the one at the very top who was like, no matter what, I believe in God. And so even with those 10 years, it's like, maybe he forgot. Who cares? It's God. An eternity of all the other epic things that he's done don't wipe away the 10 years where I was in the cage. Like, it's not going to make me betray him or anything. So I thought that was really well done. And I was like, that's what I expected, for Michael. But I thought it was really cool. And then, of course, Cass goes in and it's like, all right, you need to remember. You need to know some stuff. So it's just like, boom, he hits him and it's like, this is everything that's happening. And then the other thing that I think was probably the biggest moment was probably the fact that there was another Michael. Because he didn't know about the alternate universes, which I thought was like the coolest thing. That only God was the one that really knew about like alternate Earths and stuff like that. So I was like, that's really cool. And he was like, I'm not really that important to him. Like, I'm not even the only Michael. And I thought that was really cool. And, the fact that he let that Michael kind of just do whatever, just to see the story play out, it was just like, wow, he really doesn't care. Like, he just does not give a crap. And I thought that was really cool. I thought it was very entertaining to watch him do that. And then it's like, this is what you guys need to do. You need to go to purgatory. You need to get a Leviathan Blossom. And that will allow you to basically trap God. And so once again, snaps his fingers like it's nothing. Here you go, 12 hours. So that was really cool. And I love the way they went through, the Adam Michael stuff. Like, the actor did a great job. I feel like everyone throughout this entire series has always done an amazing job with that. Like, people, they're just good actors. Like, it's always like whatever the supernatural entity is that's taken over the body is just a totally different person from the human. And Adam, whenever he takes over and stuff, it's just like, hey, it's me. It's your stepbrother. So it was just really cool. Like, the way it was done, he just acted it out very well. And I like the way it was handled, where it's like, he just wanted an apology, and that may not be all he needs, but it was a start. And when he's about to leave, Dean's like, can I talk to my brother? And so Adam turns around and he tells him everything. He's like, we are sorry that we just left you there. Like, you didn't deserve that, and there's not much else I can really say, but you didn't deserve that, and we are really sorry that it happened. And it was just like, cool. Like, it's a start. It's something. I do hope he comes back, and I assume he will, especially with what Michael found out is like, where do you go with that? And God's still gonna probably try to wipe out everything, so who knows? But I feel like that's not the last we've seen of him. Like, I doubt he'll just stay out of the fray for the rest of the season. I feel like we kind of have to see him come back. I hope we do. I hope that's not like the one thing, and then it's just like, oh, that was it, huh? And he never shows up. So I assume we're gonna see him more than once, and I really hope we do. But really cool way to end out the episode. Nothing super insane happened until you kind of get to the end. So this whole episode, things are happening. It's like, oh man, Rowena's back. Here's, Adam and Michael. And then Eileen's kind of just doing, like, this little case. Like, the beginning of the episode was her being on this case. And, Sam, like, freaked out. It was like, you could have left a note or something. And so it's like, all right, yeah, if she's ever on the case, and Sam didn't even talk about it. It's like, if she's on the case, if she needs anything, she'll tell me. So Sue Barish, who I assume is dead, based on the end of this episode, I was just like, everybody's dead. I thought it was going to be another thing where it's like, man, what the F? Like, all their friends are villains now. And so, they go to help her out. And then it was like, this place is empty. How did she, see vampires here? And then she's like, I forgot what they had her actually say. And I was like, what the F? Now she's bad. And then she fades away. I was like, what is this? And then it was Chuck. And I was like, oh, snap. This is a crazy way to end the episode. And it was like, they're just captured now. They're just caught. Like, because Chuck was pissed. He's at this casino. He's just winning. I assume everyone was just passed out and not actually dead, except for, like, the one hostess, and he was just having her bring him drinks, and he's just winning at the slot machine. And it was just like, okay, he totally tricked them. And then, that's kind of where things end. It's like, all right, we have Cass and Dean, who have to go to Purgatory, where they may or may not see Benny. Who knows? And then we have... unfortunately, a captured Sam and Eileen, who, where Chuck is just like, gotcha. And so then they get captured at the end. And it was just like, where are we going now? Because I don't know. So I really enjoyed it. It wasn't as crazy of an ending as I thought it was going to be. That was definitely like the holy crap moment. Because I thought for sure, going off of the other episode with Dean's friend, I was like, like I said, I was literally just mad. I was like, why is everyone turning bad? And then she disappeared and it was like, oh, that was Chuck shape-shifting. And then I was just like, oh, well, that shut me up, because that's worse. That's where, because I was like, this is crazy, but they're gonna win. They're gonna beat her, and then whatever other vamps come out, it's like whatever. They're gonna chop their heads off and keep on rolling. And then it was like, oh, this is actually God. God tricked them and kind of pulled them in. Probably killed Sue Barish, like I said. And now they may or may not be screwed. We'll see what happens. So I thought that was a pretty cool way to kind of end things out, where it's like, man, they get to go back to Purgatory, which is super cool. Everyone loves the violence. But it is really cool. It's like, aside from whether or not they might see Benny, which is admittedly like the coolest thing, coolest potential from that moment, they go back to Purgatory, which is really cool. And then, the other side of that is what is going to happen with Sam and Eileen and Chuck. So very cool, very interesting. Based on the promo, it was like, they're showing... it seems like, the premonitions and stuff that Chuck was having, or not premonitions, but potential endings for his stories and stuff like that. So it's like, all right, I can't wait to see what he ends up showing Sam, and what we're gonna see that may or may not come to pass. So I thought it was really cool, definitely an entertaining episode, but it doesn't stack up to that mid-season premiere, which of course I will talk about in my next review. But that is my favorite episode of the season, so look forward to that. But I would love to know what you guys thought about this mid-season finale, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, least favorite parts about it. And of course, odds are you've probably seen the mid-season premiere at this point, but going off of this mid-season finale and, having the team split up like this, where half is supposed to go to Purgatory and the other half is, trapped with Chuck, I would love to know what your predictions were at the time. Like, what did you think was going to happen in the mid-season premiere? What did you want to happen? What did you not want to have happen? I would love to know where your mind was when you first saw that ending, where it's like, oh, he captured Sam and Eileen, and then the other half of the story is a 12-hour, time limit to get into Purgatory, find this thing, and then, hop back out. So we'd love to know your thoughts on that. But in general, we'd love to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.